Welcome once again to Harveywetdog, where we're trialling the Sony Z190. That's the PXW-Z190. Had a lot of trouble with the camera last week when we used it internally at the Hartpury Arena. Very dark image, very disappointed image, and Sony are looking into that for me. But I think the bottom line is it's the law of physics with the type of sensor that's fitted to this camera. So I can in no way recommend this camera to anybody. I obviously purchased it in good faith, and some of that good faith has since perhaps been destroyed. But primarily what I do is outdoors. So I want to just persevere a little bit more and see what sort of an image I can get outdoors. This morning I'm also going to do some trials for some people who want to see how the digital extender zoom works. That's in 1080, so it's not anything I'd ever use because I do prefer to shoot in 4K, but we'll just see how that works for people, whether there's any distortion on that. My preferred option, if I want to really get into a subject, is to shoot in 4K and then zoom in Premiere Pro. But obviously if you're in the field live broadcasting, you don't have that luxury. I'm using the Saramonic microphone this morning, so hopefully you can hear me. I'll try and talk through what I'm doing, what I'm seeing. As you can see, we have got some sunshine, so it is reasonably bright at the moment. That does bring with it the problem that you can't always see what's happening on the screen, so I'll probably be having to use the viewfinder some other time. Okay, so let's get on with the test. So for the first test, I've got the digital extender on, and as always, I'm going to zoom into the ancient ash and try and keep things steady. Here we go. So this is wide angle, and this is zooming all the way in on the extender. And that's fully zoomed in. The peaking monitor on the field monitor is certainly telling me that we're in focus. Now I've assigned one of my buttons to the extender, so I should be able to turn it off, like so. Oh, sorry, no, I've just turned it on. So that's off, that's on. So let's do that test again. Interestingly, this time the peaking monitor is telling me the tree isn't in focus. Off, on. So I'm coming out. And I'm going in. So that is full telephoto with the digital extender on. And just to convince myself, yep, that's digital extender off. Tells me now the tree is 420 meters away. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration. So this time I'm going to leave manual focus where it is. So I'm on full manual focus, and I'm going to repeat the test of zooming in with the extender in 1080. Just had a buzzard fly across. I don't know whether that came in on the camera. It would be nice if it did. And that's the extender off again. Now all I can say is those branches are flashing back at me red, which would indicate they are in focus. Right, so we're back in 4K, 50 frames a second. I've interestingly just stepped over to the tree. I do measure it to be about 110 meters away, which I've just walked out over there. But interestingly, if I switch in the push auto, I'm in manual focus at the moment, but if I push auto, it comes back 184 meters. So I don't think that's right. So let's just ease it back to 110. I'm getting some feedback there, some red feedback on the peaking, so I'm happy with that. So this first test is the camera is in hybrid log gamma 2, and other than that the settings are as per the book. And we've finished with the extender now. Obviously that doesn't operate in 4K, but I will use this shot just to show you what it looks like if you zoom in Premiere Pro, which is the other way of getting that high detail. Zoom out. Leaving the focus on manual. I'm getting some nice focus there from the mirrors. Loosening off the tripod, I had it quite tightly up for the 50 times focus. So the mirrors are showing themselves to be in focus, as is the house. Let's see if we can get a dog in focus. I've actually got my cheaper remote on the zoom here, and it is quite slow. Okay, so that's the standard settings. These settings, still in 4K, still in hybrid log gamma 2, but I've increased the detail setting and the frequency. Now previously I've had the detail set down because that's what one of the experts recommended, but that was a recommendation for the 280, not actually for the 190. So I've just seen what happens if you increase it. Quite a long way away now. Let's just So there's the tree on these settings. Focus has settled out at 172 meters, which I would say was wrong. Do a bit of manual focus. That's about 116 meters, which we were coming up with before, and we've got a good lot of focus there on the branches at the back. And wait. This focus is quite difficult. Whatever I do, I can't get the main trunk at the front to show up as being in focus. It's a bit annoying. Obviously you do have to sometimes rely on your eye. So that's my saved file number 3. I've increased the detail more now. Just check on the phone exactly what I have done. Details now at +10, the frequency as +20. Not sure manual focus is for me, but it's telling me that the tree is in focus. Push the autofocus. It's taking it right out to maximum, the infinity setting. Obviously, the house isn't that far away. Pull it back 200 meters about, I think. 278. Overdid it a bit there. Back into autofocus and we'll find the dog. Focus is just hunting up and down between 63 meters at the moment. Just split back to infinite. I've just used the scene function to set all my detail settings back to basic. We're in hybrid log gamma 2 at 1080, 25 frames a second. The extender is on. And that is maximum zoom in. The autofocus has given up and just said it's an infinite distance away. Just turn the extender off. Try and manually zoom that. I really should have brought my eye cup out with me, but sorry about that. (409 meters). I'm definitely not going to step this one out. But I would think that was twice as far away as the other tree, so all I can say is that's 200 meters now. I'm getting some positive feedback on both peaking meters. I mean, if this shot looks a bit milky, well, it is. I mean, it's bright sunshine today, but it is. There's just that hint of haze, so that's probably why. So let's just put the extender back in. Just tweak the push auto. Yeah, that can't deal with it. That definitely thinks it's an infinite distance away. Extender off. Turned it the wrong way. Extender on. There's one last thing. I've just put the iris on manual at 2.4, which I think we decided was around about the optimum setting for it. Still on scene, well, I'm on scene 2. Just to look what that is. She's been out an awful long time, but she's still moving. Well, somebody asked me this morning what the NX80 does if I fast pan. Well, here, as a small demonstration, is what the Z190 does. So as I say, the autofocus is a lot more stable, but it now thinks the tree is 28 meters away, which just isn't correct. "81 meters, not correct either. Just have to look and see what that image looks like. Go to manual, tweak it to about 100, which is that way. No, it's that way. So that is 118 meters. Oops, it slipped off. That is push auto, 78 meters. As I say, unconvincing. 43 minutes of battery left, so we've had a good morning out here. Well, there we have it. Not entirely convincing, but I'll put that through the computer and see what it looks like. Just been having trouble connecting via the phone. It's just typical of everything that I find with this camera. It's just hard work. The content browser motion app just doesn't seem to operate. Now, whether it's because Sony don't want it to talk to an Apple iPhone, I do not know. But I find everything with this camera, whether it's this application, whether it's the software, the Catalyst Browse software, whether it's trying to get support, whether it's trying to get any training, it's just hard work to the point of being demoralizing. And you do wonder how you got into this situation. And I can see now that when I bought the NX80, that was at least a genuine partner to the more expensive NXCAM brother, whereas this camera, obviously they've really cut corners. The sensors are clearly too small, and as I stand here today, I am not recommending that you buy the PXW-Z190. Save your money, see if Sony bring out a newer model that's corrected some of the obvious errors with this model. I'll struggle on with it, I'll see what I can get out of it. I think in a field for cross-country, there's a possibility it'll be usable. There's no doubt the infinitely variable ND filter is a great feature. With the NX80, I do find sometimes it's telling me change, and obviously if you do change as you're shooting, you get that little blip in the colour. But that's a small default, if you like, with the NX80 compared with the low light performance of this camera. And the general woolliness of the 4K image. I mean, as I've said, it's not very bright today and there's a little bit of haze, but I know the image you're looking at the moment would look much better on the NX80 with its 1-inch sensor. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you want me to try anything out on the Z190, as long as it's not filming indoors, give me a call. Cheers, bye.